Welcome to How Preschool Teachers Do It.
This is Alison Kentos. I am an early childhood educator.
And this is Cindy Tarabush. I am an early childhood consultant.
This podcast is for parents and early childhood professionals.
Let our experience and research-based knowledge become your guide. And welcome back to Monday, preschool peeps. Still
Hi,
trying
peeps.
Different greetings.
I know.
Okay.
We'll get there.
We will. Hey, if anybody has a really good start for us, let us know.
Oh, what a great little contest that would be, huh? We've
Yeah.
done contests before.
We have like one or two or one. I don't know, but we could definitely we'll ponder it. Let's think about what that could be.
Yeah.
Today we're going to talk about something that we feel like is misunderstood.
Yes.
Right? Bravery is misunderstood, and so I'm not sure that we always do a good job of teaching it.
I feel like we're using bravery as a let's get the kids to do what we want to do term, because they don't want to be thought of as weak. So that you always say, oh, come on, just be brave, and that's not what bravery is. So I think it needs to be rethought.
So when we're like, let's say, for example, I can think of a really concrete preschool example. Okay. October is Fire Prevention Month. And so many preschools or early childhood settings have the fire department come for Fire Prevention Month. And they sometimes bring the truck and the firefighters come and they talk to the children. And there are children who are afraid.
Right. Well, it can be scary. This big truck is there with these people who you don't know in equipment that you've never seen.
And young children associate it sometimes with loud noise that they don't enjoy. And they're really afraid that the sirens are going to go off, right? But they do. Some of them are a little bit hesitant about strangers and things like that. And I very often see adults, when children are a little bit fearful or hanging back or hiding behind them, saying things to them like, come on, be brave. Let's go up to the truck, be brave. And the question is, I guess the question for us is bravery kind of just swallowing your fear and doing what other people want? Or is bravery standing for what you want?
Right. And I think we need to teach the second part, that bravery is standing up for what you want, who you are, and what you believe in. Even if that is scary, or even if it means saying no when everybody else is pressuring you. It's not weak to say, no, you know what? I don't feel like doing that. That doesn't sing to my core being here. You know what I mean? And like, we teach kids all the time to like, stay true to yourself, stay true to yourself. But then when it comes to it, you're like, no, just be brave. You can do it. And just kind of gets thrown away, I feel.
So the question then is, how do we teach young children that bravery actually standing for yourself? Because they really are, when you think about young children, so powerless. When adults can scoop you up and bring you to the strangers anyway, or to the big scary truck anyway, it's very hard to teach this to kids. But I think what we need to do is do it by respecting their wishes, maybe.
Right. And I feel like when we are doing that, like this, be brave, and then we just scoop them up and we put them on the fire truck anyway, you're teaching them not to listen to their thoughts and feelings on things. Like, oh, I was scared about that, but it doesn't seem to matter because I have to do what she says anyway. And we really want them to listen to themselves and how that makes them feel, and let them decide that they want to go on the truck.
So then what you're proposing is the conversation with young children who are a little bit more reticent. There should be a conversation rather than a scooping up. And we should talk to them about the fact that we can see that they want to wait, and that's okay.
Right.
Is there any way, why do you want to wait? Or I can see you want to wait, so we'll hang back here. When they're really little, when they're like 1.5, 2 years old, and they can't really express to you why they want to hang back and wait. They just know that they're scared, and their emotions are very big. They have these very big feelings that they can't express. So what you're saying then, Alison, is that we should just be saying to them, okay, I see you want to wait. Let's wait.
Exactly. Like we would with any other emotion, right? I see that you're upset. Would you like to talk about it? You know what I mean? Why with things that are scary does all of that conversation get thrown out the window? And I feel like it's been like a way for like adults to just get kids to do what the adult wants, like be brave. Come on, we're going to go see the truck because all the other children are seeing the truck. And it's easier for me to be with that group than to be with this one child that might be scared. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's just a way for adults to get what they want instead of teaching the child what they should be taught.
And are we then creating followers when we could have had leaders? Because if we're saying to very young children, be brave, come with me, then they think also following their peers into disaster is bravery. When actually bravery would be, I'm not going to go and do that with my peers because it isn't safe or it isn't nice or it doesn't feel right to me.
Right. It doesn't feel right. So I'm going to say no. And saying no is brave because you listen to you listen to your heart, because you don't, like you said, Cindy, I don't think we want to teach these kids to follow. That's going to get them into so many possibly really bad, dangerous situations. And it might be because we said, oh, I'm just going to be brave and do it, even though inside is screaming at me that this is not safe. I better do it because I don't want to be thought of as weak. That's going to get them into really terrible situations.
Right. Bravery is following what your gut and your knowledge tells you is right. And sometimes it isn't doing what we wish they would do. The kids too, the kids who hang back, there's a group of children playing and there are some kids who hang back and they don't immediately join that crowd playing. These are children who are a little bit more cautious by nature. And so they sit back a little bit. We can offer them help. We can say to them, do you want to play with them? Because I can help you, which is very different than let's be brave and go over there.
Right. Because you just force them to do it, and by forcing them, you're making them not even have the opportunity to listen to their feelings. Have a conversation. I'm as an adult, a person that stays back at big groups, I will tend to go to these big conferences and be like, you know what, I'll sit at a table over here and let people approach me. I'm still like that. That's just who I am. It takes me a while to warm up, but if you force me into it, I would now have probably a panic attack,
I understand.
Let me be me and let me warm up, and in time I'll be over there with you. But for right now, no, but when you force it, now you're causing more different emotions than what I had just putting my little pinky toe in the water. You know what I mean? Now you force me. Now I have full blown anxiety, panic attacks. You're causing more. If you just let them do it their way, then eventually they might get over the fear, or they might not. It might just be who they are.
So this is coming down to bravery is teaching children to stand for how they feel, what they know, and it's not necessarily doing what we wish that they would do. That's not necessarily bravery. I wonder if when children are young, if we teach them that courage and bravery are standing for what is kind and right and safe and gives you peace, right? Feels right, gives you peace. If we would have less adults someday worrying about what everybody else is doing, feeling awkward about their own decisions, looking to social media to figure out what they should or shouldn't be doing. I think during this time when people are making individual decisions about things like their health, what am I going to do? Am I going to go to a big event? Am I going to wear a mask in the supermarket? Am I going to, people feel so stressed and awkward about it. And perhaps that's because we weren't taught that actually bravery is doing what you think is right in these situations, what you think guards health and safety and respect for people and respect for property.
Yeah, even if that belief goes against what everybody else thinks. You know what I mean? I feel like if we raised kids teaching them that bravery means this, that it means listening and standing up for yourself, you would have a bunch of adults who are just comfortable in their own skin and their own thoughts rather than worrying about what everybody else around them thinks. You know?
So it can sometimes be, bravery is sometimes what we have to teach children. Bravery is sometimes saying, no, that isn't right. And bravery is sometimes saying, yes, this is what we should do. It's sometimes no, and it's sometimes yes.
Yeah.
Always based on our understanding of health, safety, emotional safety, respect for people, respect for property, how other people would feel. Yeah. But not so much that we're worried about how other people feel about what we do. Maybe if we were to teach children that bravery is standing up for what you know is right, what you know is right for you, for others, and for the world, there would even be less bullying, right? Bravery is standing up and saying to your friends, no, don't do that. That's really mean to her, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When I know that there's so much hesitation, especially, let's say, those awkward middle school ages, to stand up and say, this person was bullying this person. Bravery is going to your friend and saying, I'm really uncomfortable when you do that. That's really mean.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be brave.
Right?
You know?
Bravery is saying, I know that nobody here is, I'm just going to use the masks again because it's the lowest hanging fruit in our society right now. I know that nobody here is wearing a mask in this store. To me, it feels right. And so I'm going to do it.
I'm going to do it. Yeah.
You know, we shouldn't, it goes hand in hand with not judging, I guess. But bravery is teaching children, bravery isn't forcing them out of what makes them most comfortable with their decisions. Unless they're going to be physically hurt. Unless they're going to be hurt.
Right. I feel like we should be teaching them to make a decision based on what you feel is right for you and all those other things, respecting property, respecting people. You think of all these things before you make a decision. And then standing by that decision. That to me is brave, because sometimes your decision is going to go against possibly the group. And it might be something like, like, I just don't feel like attending that event. Okay, I'm going to say no, and everybody's going to go, kind of like the fire truck. Everybody's going to be like, oh, look, Johnny didn't go on the fire truck. So, but standing by and be like, yeah, I didn't want to go on the fire truck. You know what I mean? It's okay. Like, and then other people would start to maybe accept that other people's decisions are okay because they're taught that this is how you make a decision. You know what I mean? And you're not going to judge the person, everybody will make their decision, and no matter what your decision is, it's fine. And that'd be the end.
I've been with young kids where there was a group of children. This starts in pre-K usually. There's a group of children doing something and they'll point out somebody who isn't doing it. They'll, they're all over there having a little dance party and they'll be like, so-and-so isn't dancing. And as the adults, we look at them usually and say, that's okay. He doesn't have to dance. He can decide, right? He doesn't want to. It's okay.
Yeah.
But then there are times where we want them to do things and we're like, no, come on, that's brave. And I think there are mixed messages to children because of that.
Yeah.
On the one hand, I'm telling your peers, no, it's okay. You get to decide something like that. And on the other hand, sometimes I don't let you decide things that you should be able to decide.
Right. I feel like it's messing with their brains. It's messing with their minds. We're not teaching them that they should be listening to what's in their heart and what they feel is right. So like, you don't want to dance one day, but then the next day you're forced to dance. It's like, wait, yesterday it was okay, but today it's not.
We have ways to make you dance.
We have ways to make you dance.
We have ways to make you glue.
Right. What's going on? That kid he's like, well, now I shouldn't even bother making the decision not to dance because she's just going to force me to do it anyway. You know what I mean? Like, it's like
that whole, like, even like the cutting and glue. Oh my gosh. You know how many teachers will be like, she won't do the thing. And I'm like, yeah, we don't force children to glue. We just don't. It's fine.
It's okay. It's okay.
We'll all be fine.
Yeah.
I hope people who are listening to the podcast, like, hi, preschool peeps, think back about your interactions with young children. And I can think of times, honestly, where I've said to kids, come on, let's be brave together. Let's go do it, even though their gut instinct told them not to. And nothing bad would have happened if they didn't do whatever it was. Nothing terrible would have happened. I think a lot of times for adults, it's we don't want them to lose out on the possibility of having meaningful experiences. But how meaningful is the experience if the child is full of anxiety? Really? This is
right.
You know, when you think about it. So there are times where I can think back of myself doing that. And if you're out there and were my student, I'm sorry that I didn't know better and should have just said to you, I see that you don't want to, or I see that you want to wait. Yeah. And knowing full well that the world was not going to fall apart. Nobody was going to be hurt if this child didn't do whatever.
Yeah.
You know what? It's fine. It reminds me of something that we're going to talk about in the fall. It kind of reminds me of those holiday shows that Alison and I have an episode about already, and kind of getting away from those. But it's very much, that's part of that conversation. So as a little teaser for fall, we're going to be talking about that again, but from a new perspective, and giving people more food for thought and maybe some ammunition to not have to do it the way that they've done it. But it's kind of like that too. You know, we stick kids on a stage and just kind of go, be brave. Okay, everything inside them is saying, don't do it when they're having an anxiety attack. Yeah. That's not bravery.
That's not bravery. And we're just breeding anxiety issues in these children, you know? So like you force them on stage and now you have an adult who can't public speak. You know what I mean? And it's like, all goes back to that like third grade performance, you know, or whatever. And it's like, it's like crazy.
Like, isn't it possible that bravery is your whole class is up there singing and you are sitting in your seat because you didn't want to go?
And you chose, because you know you're going to have an anxiety attack when you're on that stage. You chose to be like, you know what? I'm good. I'll stay backstage. You know what I mean? I'll sit in the seat. That's brave. You know, like, I feel like that's what we should be teaching the kids, not forcing them. Because then I also think it devalues the definition of what true bravery is. You know what I mean? Like if you're just saying, going on stage when everybody else is doing it is brave, then their definition of bravery is all warped. You know, like it's not.
Yeah. And that's why as adults, they'll push themselves into situations that they didn't need to push themselves into. It would have been fine not to do it. Because you're right, the definition gets warped in our brains. Yeah.
And you have adults who are taking very, very big risks that are causing some really big damage, sometimes death. I mean, like for things that they're considering brave, which are not brave. You know, it's scary to me, you know?
We need to teach children to follow what they're being taught, to follow their heart, to follow their nature, who they are, their instincts, their nature. And to think things through. When they have a dilemma or a problem, they should be taught to think it through, talk to people, but the people they're talking to have to understand that bravery isn't doing what you want because you're the adult who thinks that you have an overarching perspective on the value of this experience or something, that sometimes your child's bravery is actually saying, no, I don't want to do this.
I don't want to do it.
I'm perceiving danger of some kind, or I'm thinking that this isn't good and I want to not do this.
Right.
Maybe a constant question that adults should ask themselves is, what's the harm if this child stands for what they are feeling at these very young ages, so that they learn as they get older that actually bravery is making your individual decisions.
Yeah.
So that in a way that people are kind and safe and giving and stand for what's right, or what they've been taught what's right. Yeah. So to sum up, I guess, Allison, what we're saying is bravery is not us looking at little kids and saying, come on, be brave, do this with me.
Right, because you're teaching them to follow rather than stand up for themselves and stand up for what they believe in.
In so many ways, we turn off children's natural instincts. When we start to schedule snack time for them, we're turning off their natural instincts having to do with hunger and nutrition. Right. When we schedule rest time for them, we're turning off their natural instincts about when they're tired.
Yeah.
When we declare bravery for them, we're turning off their natural instincts about self-protection, protecting others, and doing what they feel is right. So I hope that everyone will give that some thought as they think about summer activities and the upcoming school year, because let's do a better job with that bravery. Has there ever been a time in our society when bravery was more needed? Or when we needed more people to stand up and say,
stand up for what they believe in.
Here's what is important, and here's what makes me comfortable, and here's what's right. So hopefully we can do a better job with that bravery word.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to let you all go think about that. And kind of like I will after this episode, the many times I probably looked at young children, including my own 2 children, and said, come on, be brave, we're going. I think of many a trip to the amusement park as I think about that. Come on, be brave. Like, honestly, get on the ride. Mom wants to go on the roller coaster. Get on the ride.
Right. And what's going to happen if they don't go on the roller coaster?
Mom doesn't get to ride the roller coaster.
Mom doesn't get to go on it.
Yeah.
Mom goes on by herself then.
Well, that would take way too much bravery to get on the roller coaster by yourself. What are you talking about, Allison? You have to have somebody sit with you. Come on. That's what we were taught when we were kids. Can't bravely get on that line and go alone.
But see, the fact that you won't go on alone is causing other people to do things they don't want to do.
Causes my kids to get on spinny things they never wanted to get on, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. See?
There you go. All right, everybody go ponder your trips to the amusement park.
Yeah, they have a phobia now of spinny things. Mom made us go.
Probably. That's why they're like consistently sending articles now of these rides that fall apart. Like, you probably would have made us go on this.
Like the one that was tipping backwards.
Oh, lately? Did you see that? Did you folks see that? Okay, people, if you have not seen it, there was a video on social media of a carnival ride that was tipping over, and people had to run up to it and hold it down to the ground.
Hold it down.
Oh, so my goodness!
The people on it wouldn't. Oh my gosh!
All right, yeah, I used to take them on carnival rides, but we won't talk about it. They're right now, if they're listening, they're like, yeah, that woman was a little nutty when we were little. Okay, folks, so we're going to catch you next Monday, and hopefully you've given a lot of thought to your trips to amusement parks and the things that we tell children are brave. They're actually just trying to get them to conform to what we want them to do.
Right.
And we would love for you to find us on social media and check out our YouTube channel and all of that. And you can find us everywhere just by putting in How Preschool Teachers Do It. Simple to find us these days.
Yeah, we're pretty much everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, folks. We will see you next week.
Bye, peeps.
Bye.